What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Now, before I start this video, I just want to say I'm still looking for a series, and I think I'm going to do that series in which I talk about wrestlers who never reached their potential, like Alex Riley, Shelton Benjamin, Chris Masters, those kinds of guys. So let me know in the comments who do you want me to talk about first, and I'll be sure to do that video soon. As for the next video, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It could be about Eddie Guerrero's title reign. I'm not sure. I will upload it on Christmas Day, though, as I got to stay consistent every 2 days. So yeah, consider it my Christmas gift to you guys. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's the Eddie Guerrero video on Christmas Day. I gotta think of something. I don't know. That legacy video will come soon, though. That's all I gotta say. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about the lunatic R-Truth. This run is a missed opportunity, in my opinion. R-Truth went from someone who was just in the mid-card scene to all of a sudden being one of the focal points of Raw. In this video, I talk about R-Truth's transformation into a paranoid, crazy man. First of all, let's go back to R-Truth's face run. I always assumed he never won a title, but then I found out that he actually won the US title in 2010. R-Truth won the gold on the May 24th, 2010 episode of Raw. He held the title for 3 weeks before The Miz recaptured the title in a fatal 4-way match. R-Truth over the next year didn't do anything notable. The most notable thing he did is participate in the SummerSlam main event against the Nexus. On the April 11th, 2011 episode of Raw, R-Truth participated in a 5-man gauntlet match with the winner facing The Miz at Extreme Rules. R-Truth ended up winning the thing after The Miz attacked both him and John Cena. So, the match at Extreme Rules was a triple threat match featuring both John Cena and R-Truth. The next week on Raw, R-Truth kicked off Raw. The Truth claimed that he's going to win the title at Extreme Rules. John Morrison came out and he began making jokes saying that Truth wasn't in good shape. The reason why Morrison was saying all of this is because he showed us footage of R-Truth drinking water during the gauntlet match. Truth disagreed with Morrison, but then the Monday Night Delight said that Truth is in good shape for an athlete who smokes. Morrison then said that he's joking and that he's only trying to get the Truth to put his Extreme Rules spot on the line. Truth accepted the match after the crowd cheered for it. R-Truth would end up losing his title shot to John Morrison. After the match, R-Truth pulled John Morrison off the turnbuckle and he slammed him onto the mat. R-Truth began speaking to himself, or Little Jimmy, and then he gave Morrison a running knee. Once again, R-Truth felt some remorse, but then he delivered another running knee, but this time, R-Truth kneed Morrison into the barricade. R-Truth then grabbed Morrison and told him that he did this. R-Truth even smashed a water bottle on Morrison. I believe this was the debut of the water smashing thing that he did. Like, he used to hit people with a water bottle a lot in 2011, so this was the debut. After this, R-Truth gave Morrison his finisher. R-Truth then grabbed a pack of cigarettes from some guy and he smoked a cigarette. I remember watching this live and thinking, what the hell was this? It was so random. It was pretty cool though. He then blew the smoke over Morrison's body. On the special draft episode of Raw, R-Truth explained his actions. When he came out to the stage, he came out to no music, and then he started to act like a little kid. He continued staring at nobody or John Cena, and after that, R-Truth blamed the fans for his loss to Morrison, claiming that they goaded him into it. Truth after that said that he danced and rapped for the fans and that he's no longer gonna do that. R-Truth was happy that he is free from the fans. John Morrison then came out and got a piece of the truth, but then the refs restrained Morrison. At Extreme Rules, R-Truth cost John Morrison the WWE Championship. The next night on The Rock's birthday, R-Truth was set to face John Morrison in a match. That match wouldn't get going as the Truth attacked Morrison during his entrance and he went berserk on the Monday Night Delight. Even though refs came out to pull Truth away, he reappeared and he continued his assault on Morrison. After being snubbed from a triple threat #1 contenders match, R-Truth on the next week's Raw walked out of the arena. Truth would be interviewed by Scott Stanford. R-Truth was basically convinced that there's a conspiracy against him. He said that he got letters from parents saying that they want him to dance and sing again. During the interview, he had a country accent and I didn't really get what he's saying after that. Like, I didn't understand anything. At the end of the night, R-Truth attacked Rey Mysterio after his #1 contenders match. Eventually, a match was made for Over the Limit. Rey Mysterio to face R-Truth. At the pay-per-view, R-Truth beat Rey clean. So his heel run was off to a good start, because if he lost, the momentum that they built up all this time was going to go to waste, basically. So it was a good thing that R-Truth won. The next night on Raw, R-Truth interrupted Bret Hart's promo and he asked him if he's a 90-time WWE champion. Like, that's bizarre. He then shouted at the crowd to shut up. The Truth then told Hart that he's been in 0 title matches. R-Truth grabbed Bret's sunglasses and he started to search for a little Jimmy. He found one and he put the sunglasses on his head. Truth asked the crowd if he's in line for a WWE Championship match now. Then the crowd booed him and then he snatched the sunglasses off the kid's head. Truth then said that maybe he should beat up a Hall of Famer to get a title shot. Bret told Truth that the reason why he hasn't gotten a title shot is because he's a lunatic. Truth didn't like this and he was about to leave the ring when the champ John Cena came out. Cena confronted Truth and he asked him when did he become so crazy. Cena also told Truth that they were cool, but then Truth shouted at Cena that he doesn't know anything about cool. Truth would mention the conspiracy and that it's about John Cena. Truth went crazy mentioning that everyone wants Cena's merch and that everyone wants to watch Cena's movie. Then he accidentally said that he wants his son back. Like, that is why R-Truth has been angry this whole time. It's finally been revealed why R-Truth has been so angry and so crazy these past couple of weeks, because he wants his son back. Truth told Cena and Hart that they were a propaganda tool to make everyone feel good. He once again shouted that he wants a title match. He wants a title match. Don't you get it? Give him his title match. He's going crazy. Just give him the title shot. It's simple. He'll stop acting crazy if you give him a title shot. The anonymous Raw GM sent an email. He said that Truth hasn't really shown that he deserves a title shot. Truth was angry at this, but then the anonymous GM booked R-Truth in a tag match and he'll be watching closely to see if he is worthy of a title shot. Truth left CM Punk hanging during the match and Punk would get a sharpshooter from the special ref Bret Hart and a 619. The next week, the Maniac cut a promo next to the WWE merchandise stand. He complained and threw John Cena's merchandise all over the place. Truth was even pissed off at the fact that Zack Ryder has a t-shirt. He trashed the entire merchandise stand like a madman. As Truth was walking out, he noticed that John Cena was on some cups and he pushed them out of sight. Truth would then shout when he noticed a poster of John Cena. Basically, he's gone crazy. When Truth came out to the arena, he went into the crowd and he picked on a family who were wearing John Cena gear. Once again, Truth entered the ring and he complained about how he didn't get a title shot, yada yada yada. Then John Cena came out. He asked Truth what's wrong with him. Truth then said that Cena and the fans were conspiring to keep him down. Cena told Truth that the fans agree with him that R-Truth should be in a straitjacket. He then told Truth that he's got no problem knocking some sense into him. So it seemed like R-Truth was finally gonna get his title shot. The anonymous Raw GM sent the email in to confirm the match. Then he added that little Jimmys are barred from ringside. Truth thought this was a joke and then he told Cena that he's gonna get got. By the way, the match was non-title. Near the end of the match, R-Truth went up to that family he teased earlier. Cena went up to Truth, but Truth would gain the upper hand in the crowd and he'd run into the ring to win the match by countout. This was seen as an upset victory for R-Truth by the commentary team. After the match, R-Truth once again went up to that family. He grabbed the kid's cup of water and he took a sip. Truth proceeded to splash it on the father and Cena went after Truth, who ran away. On the June 6th episode of Raw, R-Truth came out dressed as a Confederate soldier and he marched down the ring singing a tune about little Jimmy. R-Truth would apologize for what he did last week and Austin would then tell Truth that he should apologize for being a jackass. Truth said he dressed up like this because he's in the capital of the Confederacy. Austin mentioned that this was 150 years ago and he asked Truth what did it have to do with today. Truth then said that the Confederacy seceded from the United States and that tonight he's seceding from the WWE universe. The crowd booed him and they told him you suck. Also, look at Stone Cold Steve Austin holding those beers and trying to understand what Truth is saying. Like, look at him. This would turn into a segment with Alex Riley, The Miz, and John Cena. Cena began talking to Miz and Riley, but then when he spoke to Truth, he told Truth that he's got his title match at Capital Punishment. Mr. McMahon would book a main event tag team match with John Cena teaming up with his nemesis Alex Riley to face R-Truth and The Miz. Cena and Riley would end up winning the match after the special referee Stone Cold helped them. An email from the Raw GM was received and he reversed the decision of the match, so R-Truth and The Miz were victorious. The next week, R-Truth brutalized John Morrison before the match, which meant that he was unable to compete. When it was time for the match, R-Truth went to the back and he rammed a crate into John Morrison. Morrison, I think, was stretchered out due to this attack. Later in the night, John Cena faced the Second City Saint CM Punk. During the match, R-Truth came out and he offered to trade in his water bottle for a kid's Cena hat. CM Punk capitalized on Cena being distracted by giving him a GTS, and CM Punk was victorious. Truth entered the ring after the match wearing a John Cena hat, and the Truth would then hit Cena with the water bottle, and then he'd deliver his finisher to the champ. Truth ended Raw telling Cena that he's beating him for the title, and that's the truth. R-Truth then took the WWE Championship. At Capital Punishment, John Cena faced R-Truth for the WWE Championship. Now, I can't say much about the match, but the ending saw R-Truth taking a kid's hat and his drink. Truth would take a sip of that water, and he'd give it back to the kid, who then proceeded to splash it on R-Truth. John Cena capitalized on this by throwing Truth in the ring and giving him an AA. Cena celebrated with the kid in the ring, and R-Truth was obviously mad at this. The next night was the entertaining segment between R-Truth, The Miz, and Christian. Really, Riley, Randy, Riley, Jimmy. What does Jimmy have to do with this? Well, Jimmy cost R-Truth the WWE Championship. That is why he's shouting Jimmy at Miz and Christian. Truth from here on would move down the card slightly. Truth didn't go down the card very far. He was in the upper mid-card scene, if I'm being honest. Like, I believe he was an upper mid-carder. That's what I believe. I believe he was an upper mid-carder. R-Truth didn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase at Money in the Bank. Like, I think he should have won it because he's a madman. He is unpredictable. He'd probably be the most unpredictable holder of the Money in the Bank briefcase. On the July 25th episode of Raw, R-Truth interrupted Triple H. Truth claimed that Triple H is a part of the conspiracy. During his walk to the ring, Truth spoke to his imaginary friends. When Truth entered the ring, he told Triple H that he likes that he's in power. Then he asked Triple H if he's gonna do anything for him. During the segment, Truth continued to speak to his imaginary friends, and then Truth would ask Triple H if he's gonna do anything to rectify this conspiracy. Triple H then asked Truth if he's talking to him or the invisible guys. Triple H would then mock R-Truth by talking to some invisible guys, and he triggered R-Truth. Truth was about to blow up, and then the Truth told the game that he's crazy because he's talking to people that don't exist. Like, doesn't Truth realize he's talking to people that don't exist? He called Triple H crazy, yet he did the exact same thing. Truth wouldn't want a piece of the game, but then Triple H would tell Truth that someone wants a piece of him. This led to John Morrison coming out and the Monday Night Delight and R-Truth brawl. The brawl would end with Morrison giving R-Truth the Starship Pain. The feud between R-Truth and John Morrison would continue, and it would end on the August 15th episode of Raw where Morrison won a Falls Count Anywhere match. On the August 22nd episode of Raw, there was signs of a partnership between R-Truth and The Miz because the two attacked Santino Marella. The Miz agreed with Truth in this claim that there was a conspiracy in the WWE and that they weren't given opportunities because The Miz just main evented WrestleMania and right now he wasn't doing anything, so that's why Miz is complaining. As for R-Truth, well, he's crazy. At Night of Champions, the referee made some mistakes in the favor of Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston. Later in the match, Truth was tagged in by The Miz, but the ref didn't see it, and it didn't matter because The Miz delivered skull-crushing finale to Evan Bourne. The ref was busy with Truth and Bourne kicked out. Miz then put his hands on the ref and he was disqualified. After the match, Awesome Truth continued attacking the referee. The Miz and R-Truth weren't done there, as in the main event I believe they assaulted the referee and they also assaulted CM Punk and Triple H. The next night on Raw, they were fined $250,000 each for their conduct at Night of Champions. The duo apologized to Triple H, but then later in the night, Triple H decided to fire both of them. Awesome Truth didn't like this and they went after the game. The two attacked Triple H backstage, but then many superstars threw Miz and Truth out of the arena. Truth and Miz were nowhere to be found after this episode of Raw until October 2nd. After the main event at Hell in a Cell, The Miz and R-Truth decided to cause chaos by attacking everyone in the cage. The Miz and Truth also assaulted the referee and a cameraman. Then Triple H tried to enter the cage, but it was locked. There was also a question of who lowered the cell. The cell was being raised as it was the end of the match, and someone lowered it, and it ended up being John Laurinaitis, I think. I'm not sure if it was him. The duo continued their assault, and then the locker room emptied and everyone came out trying to find a way into the cell. This was pretty unique in my opinion. Then some guy brought a bolt cutter and they finally opened the cage. When the door was open, Truth and Miz surrendered themselves to the police as they weren't wrestlers because they were basically breaking the law by entering the ring and attacking everyone. As the two were walking to the back, Triple H dived onto the Miz and he assaulted him. Triple H was restrained and it was a crazy ending to Hell in a Cell. That's all I gotta say. The next night on Raw, everyone walked out on Triple H and it led to that episode of Raw where Triple H was all alone in the ring. Then CM Punk came and Sheamus and John Cena. I liked the beginning of that episode, but then Mr. McMahon came out and he relieved Triple H of his duties as Raw GM. Everyone came back because of that. Later that night, R-Truth and Miz were reinstated by John Laurinaitis, who was the new Raw GM. The duo were booked to face Triple H and CM Punk at Vengeance. With the help of Kevin Nash, Awesome Truth were victorious. Awesome Truth would begin a feud with John Cena and The Rock, although I wouldn't consider it that because Awesome Truth were mostly a third wheel for the entirety of the feud. The night after Vengeance, John Cena chose his partner for Survivor Series as he was supposed to face R-Truth and Miz. You obviously know he chose The Rock, but the most memorable thing to me during the segment was when John Cena spat on the microphone. Like, they edited that out on the next episode of SmackDown and everything just to show that he didn't spit on the mic. It was funny. The match between Awesome Truth and Rock and Cena was pretty good. Obviously, everyone wanted to see The Rock's first match back, so it helped pop the buy rate for Survivor Series. John Cena and The Rock won the match, which was clearly obvious, and the next night on Raw, John Cena began to get in Awesome Truth's head. First of all, Cena told Awesome Truth that no one cares about them. Cena then said that The Miz thinks R-Truth is a talentless whack job who rides his coattails. Cena then mentioned that R-Truth thinks Miz is a pompous, arrogant, attention-stealing D-lister whose biggest accomplishment was being a skinny loudmouth on a crappy reality show. Cena ended the promo saying that they shouldn't be booing him but booing themselves. After Cena left, Truth began to stare at The Miz, and he believed everything. Miz tried to convince him that Cena was playing dumb, and Truth didn't believe it. The two would end up in a face-off, and the two began to talk trash to one another. Then Miz shoved Truth. Truth retaliated with a right hand to The Miz. The Miz would then try to calm down Truth, and he'd tell Truth that they should go after John Cena. The two walked up the ramp when The Miz grabbed Truth and hit the skull-crushing finale on him to end Raw. This was a way of writing off Truth because he was just suspended for violating a wellness policy. There was this rumor that Evan Bourne snitched on him. I don't know if it's true. It's random. I didn't even know this before yesterday. I just searched R-Truth wellness policy to make sure I got everything right. Anyways, R-Truth would return as a face and he'd have a small feud with The Miz. R-Truth would never reach this level in WWE. R-Truth's heel run was amazing. I think he was capable of holding the WWE Championship because he was such a great heel. He was crazy. He was amazing. The only negative I have with Truth winning the title is CM Punk might have never won the title in Chicago. But then again, R-Truth might have been a better briefcase holder than Alberto Del Rio. And about his partnership with The Miz, it helped both men because they didn't have much for them at the time, and the duo were a semi-main event tag team, so it was a good pairing, and you gotta wonder if Truth never got suspended. Like, were they gonna coexist for longer? I believe R-Truth was supposed to be in that triple threat TLC match, because Miz was in it. What was R-Truth gonna do if he never got suspended? Like, he wasn't gonna be snubbed for sure, that's all I think. After Truth turned face, he became funnier. As for this video, it doesn't do R-Truth justice. You should just go watch this run. It was simply amazing. He was convincing. He could wrestle, he could talk. So why didn't this run go beyond November of 2011? It's simple. He kind of halted his momentum. Like, he got suspended, and who knows, what if Awesome Truth were gonna win against Rock and Cena? Who am I kidding? They weren't gonna beat Rock and Cena. There's no way in hell they were gonna beat Rock and Cena. Nowadays, R-Truth is a lower card superstar. He is 47, yet he hasn't aged at all. Earlier this year, he captured the United States Championship. Right now, he's a 24/7 champion, and he held the title 24 times. That's it for this video. Make sure you hit a skull-crushing finale on the like button, and perhaps throw a water bottle at the subscribe button. Peace, I'm out.